Welcome to another episode of the Revitalized Womanhood podcast. I should be serious. I should
No,
actually be
serious?
serious. No, I mean, it wasn't serious.
It wasn't? I thought it.
Today,
Yeah.
the news.
Oh,
I was telling Kelly, where are we, Kelly?
we're in Duluth. I was like,
Duluth,
Duluth, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
We're in Minnesota.
Minnesota, if you're watching on the
Maybe
YouTube.
The E is way over
The
there.
YouTube. The E is
I know. So cute.
Minnesota.
We are northern Minnesota. Way up north.
Kelly just walked this in for me for my baby. So if you are watching on YouTube, you
It
can
matches
see
your
this.
sweatshirt.
Mini soda. You should tell her she should do mini
Like
soda.
MINN.
Like
Yeah.
a mini.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like mini me,
Yeah.
but mini and
Yeah.
then soda.
Yeah.
Like it's a mini soda shirt. Tell her for her baby line she should do
She
mini
should.
soda. Tell her
Northern print.
I'll take 10%
Northern
of
print.
everything.
Okay. That's a good idea. Isn't that cute? No, we are
So cute.
northern Minnesota.
It's amazing here.
We're like 4.5 hours from my hometown. So like 3 hours through almost a little under 3 hours from Twin Cities, if people are familiar with that. We're on the biggest lake. Wait, how does it go?
The biggest lake in the world
In the world.
and the third largest body of water in the world.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. Look at us both. We're like,
Did you hear that?
did you hear that? Did you hear that?
We keep thinking that we're where? On an ocean.
On an ocean. If you've been to Lake Superior,
Oh my God.
it looks, you might
It's
as well be on an ocean. For me, especially because we travel so much along oceans.
Yeah.
Driving the ocean road, the Great Ocean Road
And
in
we're eating a ton
Australia.
of salmon.
Yes.
And everybody's making
It's
a
very
salmon. We feel like
confusing.
it's coming
Very
from the ocean
confusing.
here. No salmon. Salmon do not come from here. It's funny.
I wonder how many of the people that are listening to this episode tuned into our last episode together.
I hope they did
It was
because
a
we
little
were
triggering.
listening to it. It wasn't as bad as it was.
It's true. It's true. Mandy did a really good job
Mandy
editing.
did.
She was I told Mandy, I'm like, if it's triggering for you, if you have PTSD or something trying to edit this podcast, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't so bad.
No,
And if you can get past trying to decipher who's talking, me or you, then
probably is a problem.
what we were saying was really good. I really, really liked the conversation we had. And I loved the last question about how do you balance a work life with a family life? Because we were in it. We were like living it.
Yeah.
It's like,
We
this
didn't
is how
even
you do it.
answer. We showed you.
Yeah. It's like, this is how you do it. You put the 3-year-old on the bed with
An
you
example.
and hope that and hope that
We don't have that. You guys, we have no husbands, no kids right now.
husbands,
We're
no
staying
kids.
with my brother, so we're not interrupted by anybody.
No.
So it's been great.
We tried to
but
get him to come be on the podcast, but he wasn't feeling it. He was not
I think
looking
he's
forward
done.
to being on the Revitalized Womanhood podcast.
He wants us to go to bed.
He's like, go to sleep.
No, he's been so sweet to us. He's been so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So what we have done, we got together, we planned this trip how long ago? This is interesting because I wanted to talk about, I don't want to throw them totally under the bus because they are so good to support us. Our husbands are so good to support us. But
They really are.
Every woman can feel what we're talking about when we planned this. We started planning this trip like months ago, like at least 6 months
plus
ago, over 6 months ago. So it just so happened that they came to Utah. That was just a fluke thing that came after we'd already planned this trip. But the amount of work it takes for mom to not only just go out of town, but to feel somewhat prepared to leave the house, to leave the kids, to leave the husband, to leave whatever help has
see my face.
Right. Whatever help has so kindly been paid or offered to help when you go. Rick's mom came in the last minute in the clutch and she really stepped up. It was great.
She's awesome.
But having to, like, moms, I want you to think about what you would have to prepare to just be able to go with a girlfriend.
And we're not talking a full week, 4 days, a long weekend.
A long weekend. And it was like schedules. You have to write down the schedules, the school schedules. If you have younger kids, feeding schedules, right? Got to worry about like, if you have a special eater, picky eater, which I was glad that's not locked anymore. And like where everything is and
what they're going to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, if they need,
Anyway, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And then I
last
thought,
night you pack your stuff.
how is my husband do when he just ups and leaves? He just goes.
It's
He
different.
just goes. But
I'm sure their stresses are the work, but still.
I did
Yeah.
say that to
Yeah.
Kelly. I said, I don't want to throw them under the bus
Yeah.
because I'm sure it's stuff at work that we don't see. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's they have to figure out their schedules. They have to
Yeah.
figure out how that's going to leave their employees, how it's going to leave, you know.
Right.
So I did give them credit.
Right.
Guys,
You
I
totally
did give you
did.
credit,
You did.
but it doesn't feel that way.
No.
It's because we don't see it. So I
No,
wonder
we
if they
don't.
see it when we do
It
it.
probably is the same thing.
Do you know what I did before I left my house? And I know you do the same things. I cleaned my entire
yeah.
house.
It's
I changed all the
spotless. Yeah.
beds in the house because
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew someone was going to
I
come
didn't get
sleep
all the
in the
beds done. Yeah.
guest bed.
Yeah.
I did all the laundry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Laundry
even
done. The last
done.
sock done. Yeah.
Yes. Everything
Oh, I
done.
kn
All
and I
the
know
laundry.
in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder if Gina's having to work really, really hard to make this happen because it is an effort and it is worth it and it is so good, but it's
And that's a perfect point. That's a perfect point. I wasn't even making, but I'm glad you said it, is it is so worth it. Because moms need to get away too. And I don't even care if you're not a mom yet. Ladies, you need, or if your kids are out of the house.
right.
Ladies,
True.
you have to prioritize
Mhm.
your own time, even
Right.
if it's going by yourself.
Getting away from yourself.
Getting away
doing something new. Yeah.
and doing something new.
Yeah.
And because we travel, and Amy in my community had asked a question. Excuse me, sorry, I've got the pregnancy
We ate a lot today,
indigestion.
the last 3 days.
My food is all sitting like
It's
right
my
on top
fault.
of my-
Sorry.
So she had asked a question in one of our chapters called "The Fish Out of Water," and
Amy
she
did?
was
Okay.
she was explaining a situation she'd been in because she's had to evacuate Florida with
Yeah.
her family, and it's all new, and she's got a newborn baby. And she asked, "What's the last thing that you did, fish out of water, to push yourself out of your comfort zone to grow for the growth?" Right? That's growth. Being able to push out of your comfort zone and learn something new, do something hard. And even though I am the travel mama, I'm used to traveling. I'm used to doing these kinds of schedules. I'm used to the packing and all the
Right.
things. I'm not used to doing it by myself
Yeah.
and 26 weeks pregnant.
Right.
I'm not used to, like, I had to parallel park at the airport, which is
Right.
not a big deal, but it's
It's
an extra thing that
it
I'm
is.
not. It's not a natural normal.
right.
Just pulling my luggage was hard. It was
Right.
hard.
It's
It's heavy. It
different.
was
Right.
different. I mean,
Yeah.
so that it is doing things
Getting
that
up
are
at 2 in the morning to
in
drive.
the morning to
Nobody
drive
was
to
driving
Vegas.
you.
Nobody was driving me.
That's yeah.
It's so these things that we do seem like things that would stop us from doing it.
Oh,
Like
totally.
it would make you think, it's not worth it.
It's not. Yeah.
Like I have gotten to some points where, like when I was supposed to go up and see my mom, but I had morning sickness and it was a 4-hour drive with the
I
kids by
remember that
myself.
day.
And I was like,
I can't do
I
it.
can't do it. I
Actually
can't.
couldn't.
I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't do it.
But
But
yeah.
I see where people get limited.
Yeah.
Why do you think people don't do more things?
It's
Don't
huge.
push themselves
Yeah.
out of their comfort zones?
Yeah. Fear or not confident. I think confidence comes with work. Past work, even from being raised. But I think you can work through that when you're older too. Is just getting confident in some one little thing. It could be an art project. Something just so simple that you're confident, or I'm confident because I'm really good at cleaning, or really good at it can be something simple, but if you have a confidence in something small, then you can work towards the next goal.
Yeah.
But if you're not setting the goals,
But you
Yeah.
have to just do it. You have to do
just have
something.
to do it. And
You
the
have to
fear
do
involved, it's
something.
still okay to be fearful and scared while you're doing it. Even if your heart's pounding, you're not in danger.
Right. Even though our
know?
body wants to tell us we aren't.
Yeah.
Our mind wants to tell us we aren't.
Yeah. But that takes practice sometimes too. But I think the more you are around people who are doing more things, you get a little bit more confident in that stuff.
I had a lady in my community, one of the gals that said, we were talking about this the other day, and she said, mowing her own lawn.
Yeah.
And a couple of us chimed in and said, us too.
Yeah.
Us
It's
too.
a
That
simple
is
task.
very
Yeah.
simple. It sounds so silly,
Yeah.
but it's not.
No.
It's
Yeah.
if you've never done it,
No.
there is a process to this that you have to do. And then once you do it, you're like, I'm an expert.
Exactly.
I could do that
But
all
then
day
you can
long.
move the next step up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next thing doesn't seem so scary. We were talking about, one of the gals said, thinking about something really, really, really hard that you've
Yeah.
done in your life.
Yeah.
Try to find or remember something that you've done and think, I got through that.
I got through it.
Right
It
now,
took
I've
years.
got members that are going through North Carolina
Yeah.
damage
Yeah.
and disaster. I've got Florida damage and
Right.
disaster. And it's like, I got through this. or I'm going to get through this. So the next time something kind of hard comes up or something scary comes up, they're going to be able to think, oh, I got this.
this is,
I
this is
pooped in a bag with no
exactly. Yeah.
electricity, no running water.
Exactly. Right.
Like, I can get
But
through
it's
this.
just like simple things like some people are scared to go to the gym. They
Yeah.
want the goal of to be healthier or weight loss or whatever they want, but they don't want to go by themselves. They want to bring someone with them, but then they have to ask. It takes energy. Oh, just forget it. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
just
do it.
forget it.
But if you can get over that one day of arriving by yourself or going out to eat by yourself,
Yeah.
we were talking about that tonight. Go out to eat by yourself. That is, people are scared of that,
Yeah.
but it's not going to harm you. There's no
Yeah.
danger in it. You can do,
You
those
think
sort
people
of
are looking at
things.
you, but nobody's looking at you. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
no,
Everybody's too
that takes age.
self-involved.
I think that takes
Yeah,
age to
it
learn.
does take age to understand that
But
everybody
this
else
is
is so
all, yeah,
self-involved.
yeah. But yeah. Are there things that scare you though that you're
Yeah.
not
I
scared
mean,
of?
things scare me, but
Yeah.
I usually just push past them. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty much
Yeah.
just jump.
Yeah. Don't overthink it.
Mhm.
Just keep going. Yeah. Find somebody that you know you can ask the right questions to.
Right.
Figure it out and then go for it. But
I'm trying to think of the last thing that was scary
I'm
that was
trying to.
not just a physical thing. Because we'll go to Costa Rica and my boys will jump, cliff jump into ponds. I mean, I guess, or they cliff jumped into the ocean in Croatia. I wish I could have, but I had the baby. But or I'm trying to think of something that's not just an action because those things I can usually push myself past that pretty easy and do it because I think once I've done it, it's not going to be scary anymore. But I think the last scary thing I did was starting this community, starting this podcast. It was something that was so completely outside of my comfort zone that I had to figure out how to set up the equipment. I had to set up my office. I remember being so frustrated this one time about I couldn't get my microphone to hook the right way. And I was crying. I was so overwhelmed and like, what do I even do? And same with some of these platforms. I've hit into like when I was recording, I remember with Scott, I was trying to record with Scott and I was recording on Zoom at the time, I think. And I could not hear him and he could not hear me. Like something was wrong. I could not figure it out. And it was, so I've gone through that and then I figured it out and I was like, that was so weird and so dumb, but no, okay.
What if you would have gave up? Like, I just cannot, this is too overwhelming.
Right.
I cannot do it.
2 years later, here we are.
Here you are still doing it. I'm here. I remember all that. It was so much, but it's those, you push through them. Yeah.
Right. What was the last scary thing you did?
Utah.
Well, that was hard because you brought Carson and that is a lot of traveling.
That would have been my fear, but what it was the day we went to Zion and the boys went ahead of us.
Oh,
It was a fear that I couldn't even control. Just a crew. I was like, if crew slips and he might, but that was nothing to do with like my fear. I was
That's
anxious.
a mama fear.
A mama fear. And I'm not an anxious mom. So that surprised me because that kept going, why is this bothering?
I think it's because you guys, we kept explaining this to our boys when you guys were not in our car. We kept explaining that these are mountains.
We live on a flat.
These are cliffs.
Yes.
You guys are not used, like we've grown up doing these rocks, doing these climbs, doing these, like getting that kind of balance.
I've always gone a hill.
Yeah. And they're flatlanders. Is that what you call yourself?
So that I do.
So we did explain that.
Yeah.
And then crew is a little bit of a little wobbly.
Yeah. So that was
that's a
and I'm still trying to work on why it bothered me so bad. I don't think I prepared them. So then it was like a failure on my part. I did not prepare them for that.
They did good.
And they did fine. And it was the best thing ever. But yes, for me, I'm like, why did that bother me so bad? But yeah, I guess I haven't challenged myself in anything new lately. I'm still doing the same old routines that work for me, but I'm not doing anything new, like a new job or a new workout routine or trying to meet
thinking about if you wanted to start a new business. You've been thinking about that.
And that is fearful for sure, but you gotta have the passion behind it.
Yeah.
And when you have so much passion, you don't feel that with it. You're like, that's not.
It feels like that's not, it's not yet. It's not the right time.
Yeah.
But it's time to start thinking about things.
Yeah. Right.
And so you're thinking about things. So you feel like there's going to be a need for something, but it's not quite time. So it's not quite triggered yet.
Yeah.
But you're looking into
That
it.
would be scary. So
that's actually brings up what
Yeah.
this definition that I want to explain to
Yeah.
everybody, because this term midlife
Right.
is starting to
Mhm.
creep up
Mhm.
in a lot of things we see on our feeds, because it's I assumed,
Mhm.
here it is. This is the perfect thing, because I assumed it was our age,
Yeah. Me
midlife.
too.
And especially because I'm 42 having a baby, that
Yes.
it's like
Oh, yeah.
geriatric. I'm
Yeah.
not even midlife. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, whatever. No.
but so
You're like,
we're
yeah.
42,
Yeah.
and so midlife
Midlife, for sure.
starts to feel like it's
Mhm.
that age, but it's
Mhm.
not,
Mm-mm.
ladies. It's not. Listen to the definition of this.
Mhm.
Okay. Midlife can be a time of self-reflection and reevaluation as people may question their life choices and how they want to live the time they have left.
I love it.
That could be a 20-year-old.
Right.
You could go through midlife.
Yeah. Because
So you could do it at 20. You could do
Yeah.
it at 30. You could do it at 50. You could do it at 80.
And I
It's-
only assume midlife now was 40s because
Me
maybe because
too.
I'm there. But 30 would have been 50 could have been midlife. We're not talking about what you have left, you know. Yeah,
No,
it's pretty cool.
it's
Yeah, but
talking about refocusing on revitalizing
I love this.
the
We're in
way you're living.
the life choices.
Yes, your life choices. It's what I was
So
explaining to
heavy.
your brother today
Mhm.
at dinner, tonight
Mhm.
at dinner, was the people that surround me. I look at, are they making me better?
Mhm.
Are they making me kinder? Are they making me more successful? Are they making me,
How are they
all of
helping
the
you?
right. And me as well. But
Yeah.
I do look at, am I giving them that? But are they giving me that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so when people don't do that for me, they aren't fulfilling me in those ways,
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious. Like
Mhm.
you notice it,
Yeah.
right? Whereas it didn't used to be. When you weren't mindful of it, it didn't
But
used to be.
if
You
you're
could
not
just be
mindful
nice
of
to
it, you won't
anybody.
notice it. Yeah.
You can just be nice to everybody, and
yeah.
everybody's great and no big deal, whatever. But you're not noticing that they're gossiping.
Yeah.
You're not noticing that they're a victim mentality. You're
'Cause
not
you're gonna
noticing
And you were saying it's gonna rub off on you.
it is.
You're gonna be the victim
And
without
you don't
even
notice that
knowing.
you become those
You
things.
bet. Yep. So negative personalities are hard, but that rubs off.
Or ungrowth related.
On growth, yeah. Yeah.
People that are just kind of
And do you want
good living
midlife? Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But that's not a midlife.
Yeah.
That's not a reevaluation of
Mhm.
life choices and how you want to live.
Yeah. I love that so
I
much.
love that
Mhm.
definition. That is
Me too.
so great. So we have the
Perfect.
rest of our questions that we tried to get to. We only got to number 4
Yes.
on our last episode.
How calm.
Oh my gosh, that was a wild ride. And here we are again at 9:37 at night.
I know,
Again.
That's when we
9:30 at night. This is when we thrive.
but we know that it's gonna get done by the end of the day. We're not gonna we're going to
We're
do it.
gonna do
I don't
it.
care what time it is.
I
we
kind
do
of
it.
thought, I wondered if we should get ready and do it in the morning. But then I was like, nah.
We're on a roll.
We're on a roll. Let's do it.
Let's
Okay.
save time.
Should I read these?
Yeah. Or I
All
can
right.
read it to you too.
This
So-
first one. What am I most proud of in my life? And what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Oh, this goes perfectly with what we're talking about.
Mhm. And yeah.
That's good enough. Okay.
I'll read you the next one.
What am I most proud of in my life? And what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail?
Ooh.
Well,
Okay.
I already faced this. I already faced this with getting pregnant again. I went through a horrible up and down, back and forth, crying, not crying. Like, I'm going to have a baby. I'm not going to have a baby. Like, I was trying to make my peace with it. I called my mom. I talked to her about it, because
Yeah.
it's like, how do you know when you're done? And finally, Rick said to me, if you are this upset about thinking about having a baby, then you will definitely regret not having a baby. You will never regret having it. Yeah, there would maybe times when I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I do it? Like with the morning sickness, why did I
What
do
am I
it? Just,
doing?
what have
Yeah.
I done? I'm
Yeah.
too old to do this.
Yeah.
Or I'm starting to feel tired trying to chase Locke and, like those kinds of things. But it was perfect. It was like, I had been so upset about, is this the right decision for our family? And he said it so beautifully. And I was like,
So
you're right.
nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I will never regret it,
No.
but I will, if I'm this upset about it,
will
I will regret
Yes,
not doing
For
it.
sure. I love that because he wasn't thinking as strongly as you,
No,
but
he
he was
wasn't.
saying it as support. as support, not thinking about himself,
Right.
but
Try to
think
think of
about
it this
what
way.
yes, I love that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he did good.
He does do good though. Um, do you feel like you could have failed with that though?
Yeah, if I would have not chosen to,
yeah,
yeah,
that would have felt like a
I
failure.
feel like
complete.
I feel like I wouldn't have been complete. I feel like
Yeah.
I would have regretted it.
Yeah.
I think I would always wonder.
Mhm.
You would always have that.
Mm.
And I think that's why we try to tell people, like, especially with Rick's new community, and that's
Yeah.
what the whole purpose of my community is. Don't get to the end of your life and say, I wish I would have,
Yeah.
or I regret not. There was that book we read about that nurse in Australia that she got all of these last statements from these people on their
Mhm.
deathbeds. And it was, I regret this.
Yeah.
I regret this. I regret this. And it was like, don't have regret.
And they're probably pretty simple. They're usually pretty simple.
Probably.
It's nothing like a really big, like, I wish I would have
Yeah.
something grand. It's, I wish I would have said, I'm
I
sorry.
want to say I finished it, but I'm
Sorry.
only halfway through it. I'm not even finished it.
That's okay. You don't have to be. You have time for that.
But I have
Yeah.
time for that. I
Yeah.
wish I would have finished
Wish I
that
would've
book.
finished the book. My gosh.
What about you? Anything you feel like
I
you
must-
would do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Oh, for sure that'd be a business. I mean,
Yeah.
just because I haven't done that in my life. So I think it's intriguing. It's not that I feel like I need it for financial reasons but for
A creative
it's a fun
outlet.
creative outlet. Yeah. I think there's a lot of failure that can come with it, but I don't think that that's stopping me, I guess.
Do you know what I think about that as far as failure
Let's hear it.
that can come with it? I don't think there's such thing as failure. Like what perspective is
Yeah.
failure?
Right.
Like what
It's somebody else's perspective.
something
usually.
that you're maybe you don't make enough money to continue doing it, or
Right.
the amount of money you're making isn't worth your
Right.
time.
Yeah.
That's not
The
failing.
definition of failure.
That's just
Mm.
making a decision
Mm.
to not pursue it further.
Right.
Right? It's
Probably
not
going to bring you
failing.
to something else
So
that
that's
wouldn't have got
what's
there.
so interesting. It's like, when is something failing?
Right. Mhm.
You know, like we had our company and then the recession hit.
Mm.
We didn't fail.
No.
We were going great. There was things beyond our control we couldn't do, and we lost everything, and we were, how we were, but we didn't fail.
It's part of your path. If you wouldn't have hit that, though, you would be driven to do what you're doing now and felt your purpose.
I
So
think
it's
failing is when
it's
you give
part-
up.
Yeah. Right.
Like when you're just
Yeah.
like, this is too hard, I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah. And you quit on
And
yourself.
you quit on yourself.
Mhm.
I think that
Mhm.
only in that is where failure lies.
I don't believe I think with all my power will make sure I can always do what I want. I mean, I'm determined enough, but that if you have an illness or whatnot, sometimes you just can't do it, or family burdens or whatnot. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. I'm sure there's lots of books I could read about failure. Like, you're not scared of failure? Oh, let me tell you. honey.
Well, look at the most successful people are the ones who have quote unquote failed multiple times. Like
Yeah.
the businessmen who have gone bankrupt. It's like the ones who have started 10 businesses
Yeah.
I'd rather talk to than the one who started one. Because the one
Yeah.
who started 10,
Totally.
he learned
A
a
lot.
bunch of different things.
How to fail and
How to
okay. And
yeah.
be okay with it. And just
How to mess up
learn.
a lot of different times in a lot of different ways.
For sure.
He has a lot of stories,
Yeah, I
right?
love that. Good. Okay, I want to ask the
Yep.
next question.
Okay, go.
So this is like in the life reevaluation, which is perfect for my life. Okay.
Okay.
So why, despite a person's previous success, would I be feeling disappointed with my life? How can you feel disappointed even though you're successful?
That's perfect with the book we're reading. Perfect,
Mhm.
perfect. That's exactly what the book is talking about.
Mhm.
I think it's, I explained it because this guy's talking about once you hit this success precipice,
Mm.
you're constantly looking to hit it again because
Yeah.
it's felt so good.
Yeah.
You just like,
Yeah.
you get this feeling of accomplishment in that,
Mhm.
So it was interesting because in my brain, and maybe it's just because where I am, but in my brain, I kept thinking of birth or motherhood or our seasons that we go through as women.
Yeah.
So birth, you think about it, oh, I'm done. I did
Yeah.
it. Success.
Yeah.
there's nothing's going to be greater than this. Look at what I just accomplished,
So
right?
true.
Seriously, the moment you can finally fall asleep
Yeah.
after you're done giving birth
Yep. Yep.
and you sleep like the
Yep.
dead for the
Yep.
next 12 hours,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
all, hey,
Yeah.
your baby needs you. And
That's
you're like,
so true.
what?
Right. Yeah.
That feeling of just complete,
Yeah.
I did it.
Right.
But then we go on to be mothers.
Yeah.
So then we go through the hard of now I've got to learn this. Now I've got to learn this. And then they leave, they empty nest, and you feel like a failure again. You feel like
Yep.
I'm never going to feel the type of, because if you define success as constantly being a good mother,
Yeah.
like
Perfect on top
I
of
don't care
things.
if you
Yeah.
think you're a great mom or not, you
Right.
are,
Yeah.
period.
Right.
You're loving those kids. If your
Mhm.
heart's in the right place, you're
Mhm.
loving those kids, you're taking care of those kids. If you
Yeah.
think you're not being a good mom, you really are because you're worried about not being a good mom.
Yeah. So true.
But you know what I mean? So then they
Yeah.
leave and you're like,
Yeah.
well, now what am I going to do with
Mhm.
the best years of my life are now behind me.
Mhm.
So then you have to find something new
Yeah.
to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I think it's all in the perspective of student teacher.
Right.
And that's what this whole book, that's what I'm trying to talk
Cool.
about in our monthly topic right now is
Yeah.
when you hit this moment of success,
Right.
you've conquered the student season.
Yep.
And now it's up to you to become a teacher. You can now teach these
Mhm.
things. So like for me in my community, it's like, well, I kind of feel like I've hit this aha in life. Like
Right.
I'm living in ease.
Yeah.
I don't worry about what people think.
Yeah.
For me,
Mhm.
this is how I feel.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
true.
up for argument or debate because it's
No.
how I feel.
Yeah.
So I am trying to help other women who
Mm.
possibly are not living this way or able to
Yeah.
be in this
Yeah.
perception of life,
Yeah.
this living in ease.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, here's the trick I kind of did, or
Yeah.
here's the tweak I kind of did, or
Yeah.
here's the book I read about it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to teach
Mhm.
what I have
Mhm.
learned,
Right.
just like you would go to find a mentor. Just
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you've started a business.
Yeah.
I'm trying to start a business. Can you please tell me how to do XYZ?
Yeah. And recommending other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
What about you?
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
Oh, it's not about me.
Yeah, it is. You're a woman in midlife, reevaluating your life choices.
I don't. I'm like, do I feel disappointed in anything though? I'm like, what am I? That's a tough one. I gotta think about that one.
Reread it again.
Why, despite my previous success, am I feeling disappointed with my life? I still am feeling stuck in wanting to go back to my old role because that was comfort. I thought for me,
Which role?
the nursing role.
Oh,
So I do.
you've always gone back and forth
Yeah,
with that.
but
You've
it
struggled.
does not work for our lifestyle. And I
Yeah.
don't need to go back to that. And things have changed dramatically in the nursing world pre-COVID. And I haven't been back since then. Other
What
than
piece of that do you think you're calling, you're yearning for?
I don't know yet.
Because you're a caretaker all day long.
Exactly. And
to
I don't think
people.
it's a caretaking. I think is that I felt so safe with the peers around me. I had my friends, they were from 20 all the way up to 75, in the environment. It just was a fun environment for me. I had
You're
a little
missing
community.
community.
Yeah. Right. Which I feel like I have.
That's a
in
very
my
like-minded
time.
community. No, but that's a
It's-
very
yeah.
specific like-minded community because
Mhm.
that's like me as a dispatcher. Only the dispatchers
Understand
understood
each
the
other.
dispatchers.
Yeah.
Only ER nurses understand ER
Right.
nurses. Only, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. The funny thing is the community that was there, they're all passing. They're old, the older ones are gone, and the other ones have moved on.
Mhm.
So it's not there. And I loved it. So I just need to go. I keep having to tell myself, that's not there.
Oh, yeah.
And
You're
that's okay,
just
but I
kind of
still am okay and
sticking
content
yourself
with
in the
where I
past a
am.
little bit.
Well, and I love to have a job, so it does feel good to work sometimes too, but I don't know, still working with that. I'll never have that again.
Is it like
but
when you're feeling because you are so needed at home.
yeah.
I mean, that is undeniable
Mhm.
that
And sometimes
you
that's
are
so
needed there,
fun. Yeah.
but you don't feel valued for that work you're doing.
No, I do. I do feel value at home. I feel appreciated and I know I mean, needed, but when there's probably no break, it feels just like a daunting, so, but we're getting there.
Yeah, you are. It's a season.
So it is a season. So it's good. I know I'm where I need to be.
You're so mindful about every part of it
Yeah.
that you are working out ways to, okay,
Yeah.
it's like saying, I have a problem.
Mhm.
Okay, well, you've identified the problem.
Oh, for sure.
So
I'm
now,
not going to sit.
how
and
can I
wait.
fix the problem?
Yeah. Let's
And then you
fix it.
fix the problem.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, well, that didn't take away the thing I'm feeling.
Mhm.
So now you have to identify the next problem.
Yeah. 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 There's definitely, it's good though.
It's a process.
Yeah, it is. It's a unique process, I think. And there's not somebody who is exactly like ours that can tell me what to do, or, there's no book on it. It's just like when you have a kid, there's no book. We're talking like special needs right now.
You should write your own
There's
book.
no, right. It's like,
Because maybe there's
I
a
know.
woman out there that needs help.
Well, and
She's just having a baby in
Yeah.
this situation.
and it's pretty cool because like people from my community know that I can help them, but they reach out and then their situation is so different than mine that I can't exactly. So I can give, well, we did this or tidbits or whatnot,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, you take a piece from everything you can find. It's
yeah.
like, okay, I can read this.
Yeah.
This part helped me.
Yeah.
It's like reading a book.
Yeah. You're not
Who
going to
was it?
take the full book.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
was it that said, if you're reading a book and everybody has this feeling like we have to finish the book.
I know.
We have to finish the book. I think it's Dale
So
Carnegie.
true.
I think he says, but if you're reading the book and you're not getting anything out of it, stop reading it.
I
Start
know.
something else, and maybe
Right.
come back to that later because that's not going to resonate with you
Right.
for some reason right now
I
in
think
your
you've
life.
told me that before when I was reading a book. I'm like,
You
I'm
were
not getting into this. You're like, why are you reading it then? I'm like, well, because I got to
Just
give
have
it
to finish
back
it.
to someone. So I'm like, I better. And it ended up being good at the end, but the last chapter, so
What?
I'm a little stubborn.
I'm gonna enjoy this book. Damn it!
No.
It's the last thing I do.
But okay, so this does roll in kind of the next one, the authenticity section of life. What do I need to leave behind in order to move fully into living a more authentic and meaningful life?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a hard one.
That's
I mean,
that's like we talked about. I talked about how I am very, very,
Mhm.
very loyal. I am loyal. Ask any of my college
For
roommates.
sure. You are very
I'm
loyal.
very loyal. But as soon as someone does something to me,
Mhm.
it is like you are written off.
We talked about that at some point.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I can compartmentalize things
Yeah.
and like shut that door.
Mhm.
I do it very well. I don't know why. It's not like and I don't carry it with me. That's
No,
the
you
thing.
don't.
I don't carry
You
it.
just drop it.
I drop it. It's
Mhm.
not my problem anymore.
Mhm.
If it's a me problem, I work through it. If it's a them problem, there's nothing I can do about it and I'm over it. So, what was the question? Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So, what do I need to leave behind? And I'm
Mhm.
not saying you need to leave behind people.
Mm-mm.
I'm saying you need to leave behind, you have to figure out what it is you're hanging on to. So, this is a perfect example of if you want to live in the present,
Right.
if you want to say, I want to live more fully in the present, enjoy my kids now. My kids are only going to be young this long. I want to enjoy them now. Well, guess what? If you're sitting there worrying about what you said to Susie 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
or Betsy down the street,
Betsy's pies.
Betsy's
Or is
pies,
it Betty?
Betty's pies.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're constantly worrying about you were at this mixer a week
Yeah.
ago and you said something and you're like, was that weird to say? Or if you were talking to a girlfriend and you were giving her advice or so trying to support her on some fight she had with her husband and maybe you said something and you're like, should I have said that? Anyway,
Yeah.
if you're constantly ruminating on things in your past,
Yeah.
then you can't live fully present.
can't.
You can't be present.
Not even for a
Or
second.
if you're constantly worrying about what ifs, what's going to happen,
Yeah.
what's coming next, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? What if this person doesn't like me? If you're constantly worrying about hypotheticals that are never going to happen,
Yeah.
you're not living in the present.
Mm-mm.
You are not here.
Right.
So if you can be mindful about the past is the past. Yes, we have
Right.
to work on it. So
Right.
identify that.
Yeah.
When something comes up, say,
Yeah.
okay, I got to sit with this for a minute.
Yeah.
Why is this the thing?
Yeah.
What's the, oh my heck, it was so funny because you know how I do the thing under the thing under the
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Laura said the other day, she's like, what's in the basement?
Oh, I
Because she skipped the thing under the thing under the thing. She's like, what's in the basement?
I love
And I'm like, oh, That might
That's
be
a
our
good
new
one.
one.
Yes. What's in the
What's in the basement? She says, what is at the very, very bottom core of why this is bothering me?
Yeah.
Someone just says something to you,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good. It doesn't, and you're like, I know they didn't mean to hurt me with this. For some reason, it just did.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so figure that out.
Right.
Because until you figure it out, you're not going to be able to live in the present.
Exactly.
So
Are you more in the present or are you more in the future or the past when you think about things? I know you live fully in the present, but like
think about things.
I go more towards what happened in the past.
Oh, I don't at all.
I don't worry about the future as much.
I'm opposite.
You more
I
future?
don't even think about the
Really?
future. Like Rick will be like, "Have you even thought about that?" And I'm like, "No,
No.
I haven't thought about tomorrow."
No.
Like we plan a trip,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Okay, so later on, I need to worry about
Yeah.
what kind of stroller I need to bring,
Yes.
or later on, I need to worry about how I'm going to pack."
Yeah.
But like when Rick and I left for South Africa, we legit packed
I know.
the night before.
I know you didn't talk about it. You did once.
It was just
like a cult.
Yeah.
For the boys.
Like I didn't even.
You hardly.
I don't think
You
about
didn't
like
worry about the future and you weren't worrying about something that happened a week prior.
I'm just
You
doing
are
what I'm doing.
You're very present.
And that has taken a lot of mindful work.
Yeah.
Like being
Very clear.
and writing things down that is a goal of mine to live in the present. What does that look like? So when people make goals, okay, for example, I want to have a good marriage.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does a good marriage mean? My version of good marriage, I don't like having some fights with my husband.
Yeah.
I think it keeps us frisky and alive.
Yep.
Like we get fired up. It shows that we want to fight for each other.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but someone else, like my mom and dad,
They're not.
I asked my mom, I'm like, what's the worst fight you and dad ever had? She says, we've never fought.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're so full of crap. She's like, no, he knows it would hurt my feelings.
Oh,
And I'm like, hey, that is a different version of a good marriage. So when people come into this community or come and listen to these podcasts, whatever, and I'm like, okay, are you setting a goal or are you setting a vibe?
Yeah. Right.
Because if you're setting a vibe, I want to travel.
Right.
Okay, when? Tomorrow?
Right. Yeah.
Next week?
Right.
Internationally?
10 years.
To North Dakota?
Right.
Like what is your goal?
Right.
You have to be very specific. So you want a good marriage. What does that look like? I want to have a date night once a week.
Yeah.
I want to have sex 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I want to, you know what I mean? I want my husband to bring me flowers. Specify it.
Yeah.
Write down what do you want? Because that version is not going to be your version.
No, totally.
So are you in a goal?
Yeah.
Or are you in a vibe?
Yeah. Love it.
I don't know why I went off into that.
You need a t-shirt that says that.
Yeah. Is this a goal or a vibe? Could be my next one of my quotable quotes by Gina.
Remember that one, Mandy.
Mandy?
We won't remember.
Side note.
We will not remember tomorrow.
Nope, but it's on a podcast now, so there you go.
I love it. Is it a goal of have you had that saying before? It's a good one.
No, it's not really. I've never said it as a saying, but it's how I try to help teach my women to do their 90-day goal setting.
I like it. I haven't heard that before.
Because you don't get results in a vibe. No. And so I tell them that
people pleasing.
It's taken since 2017 when we very first left to travel. Every single time we came back from any trips or from any long stretch or whatever, while we were traveling, even we'd be like, I wish we could slow down more.
Yeah.
I wish we could live more in the present. I wish we could not be so much like, we need to see everything while we're here because we may not come back. So go, 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 go. Kind of like we've been this weekend.
Right.
It's like, we've got to see everything. I'm never coming back to Duluth ever. So I've got to get it all in and whatever.
Right.
So every single time I remember saying multiple times, I want to live more slowly and like in ease.
Yeah.
And since 2017, it's never been something that I finally went, oh my gosh. I did it,
right?
Because I didn't write it down. It wasn't a goal. It was a vibe.
Yeah.
It was. So what does that look like?
True.
Okay. It looks like spending longer periods of time in one place, not going to like all of these things when we're in that one place, but even like more time in the house together with the kids, like being on the floor playing with dinosaurs or having a glass of wine together, looking out the window of the Airbnb or renting Airbnbs that give us the opportunity to stay inside, like the St. Terra one that was on the top of the mountain overlooking the ocean. And we were out on the back patio having wine and olives while Locke played on the ground next to us. Like there was nowhere we could go. I mean, we were just in it.
Yeah.
And so we had to write those specific, it wasn't a vibe.
Yeah.
It was a goal.
Yeah.
So after those last 6 months, I went, shiz, I did it. I accomplished something that I have been trying to do since 2017. And now I'm like, I can do it. I'm a genius. I figured this out. But it's because I wrote down specifically the goal, not just the vibe.
And nobody's going to say when you accomplish a goal, some people might be 5 years. Some people might be, 2 months.
Until all of a sudden you hit it and it clicks and you're like,
but think of all those experiences you had from 2017 with your traveling until now.
Yeah.
That's you had a lot of experiences in
there. Oh, amazing.
But it had to be multiple experiences to get to that goal.
To figure out
a lot of failure.
Well, and to failure, it's to figure out that what specifically was bothering me.
Yeah.
So I needed to change. Longer time at one stay.
Yeah.
It would have taken me to figure that out.
For sure.
So less packing, less stuff. So that I didn't have to spend so much time packing bags or carrying bags or loading the car.
Yeah. That's awesome. And love it. We've talked a lot in the last 2 days and we're not stopping.
No, I know. Poor Ryan's like, go to bed. I know. I'm like, don't you want to come with us? I know. I want to put myself to bed. I'm a little exhausting. I exhaust myself.
Oh, I know. He loves it. Don't kid yourself. He loves it.
He's so fun.
He is fun. Okay. Do we have time for one more question?
What are we at? Yeah, we can do one more.
Your battery's not dying yet?
No, I think we're good. Ooh,
I like this one. Personal growth.
Oh, okay.
This is a good one. What habits, patterns, or beliefs are dragging me down? And then my favorite, boundaries. What boundaries do I need to rethink?
Okay, let me think about that. I know it's not 2 different questions, but I'm trying to figure out how to tie them together. So I'll just hit the first one.
Yeah, go that. Yeah.
So what's that one?
What habits, patterns, or beliefs are dragging me down in your personal growth? In anything that you're trying to grow?
Oh my gosh, watching TV. That's such a bad habit.
That's how you wind down.
Listen, I know, but that's such a bad habit. No, that's such a bad habit. When I, like right now, I'm kind of just in a season of hibernation.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it. I'm mindfully in a season of hibernation. Okay, so this is so cool. My next monthly, I don't know if it's going to be my next monthly topic, but one of the next is going to be femininity.
Oh, yeah.
Defining femininity or strengthening it in us, whatever. And part of that section is going to be, so I don't have my notes right here, but Elizabeth Fay came to my retreat this year and she taught this it's older than time. It's since women have been on the earth together. Right. They have learned how to track their cycles. It's the 4 cycles, right? So you've got basically just like your seasons. Yeah. Just like your seasons. Right. You've got your fall, winter, spring, and summer.
Right.
That's every month. You've got your fall, winter, spring, summer.
Right.
So that's like in the winter, Mother Nature goes into hibernation. She doesn't die.
Yeah.
She goes into hibernation. So I think it's like the week before our period or something. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have my notes here. Yeah. But this is taught to villages like Incans, and is that how you call it? Incas, the Aztecs,
Sure.
Anyway, so there was a tribe in Mexico who does this, and that's who taught her that when their daughters hit puberty, they celebrate them. They become a woman. It's like they have 3 celebrations: celebration of becoming a woman, celebration of becoming a mother, and celebration of menopause. They celebrate these. And it's a huge thing. So so all the women, when they're young and they hit this first celebration, they teach them, these are the foods you want to eat in this phase. These are the, so anyway, Elizabeth Fay talked about it a little bit on my last podcast with her. And she was talking about when I'm in, say, my luteal phase, I don't know them yet, guys. This is why we're going to have the monthly topic.
It's just starting to be talked about, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to come to, like America.
Educate.
Like, this is something that's been around since the beginning of time, the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Periods aren't meant to be hid away and shameful,
Right.
and it's meant to be celebrated.
Exactly.
This is what gives us our children. This
Yes.
is why we become this is why we're here.
We're amazing in all 4 phases, but there's a purpose.
But
for
there's
all
a
of them.
purpose for each phase. So, what was the question?
You're in hibernation mode.
Yeah. So my bad habits, they're not bad habits.
Exactly.
I'm mindfully not going to the gym because my poor body needs rest and healing right now while it's trying to grow a child.
Yes.
I could be going to the gym,
But
I've done that
right.
when I've been pregnant before.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
But you're also
I want to eat a donut.
Yeah.
And I want to sit on the couch and put my feet up.
I
Like,
think that's
you know what I
pregnancy.
mean? I think that's age and wisdom.
You can't do all 4 phases right now in one hibernation. You're
Right.
in that. You can't do it all right now. And that's okay.
This isn't helpful for anybody that's not pregnant right now because
Yeah, it is.
but
because
if
you're
you
stuck
hear
in
me
another
say,
phase.
if your bad habits are choices you're being mindful about,
Yeah.
because it's a need.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
on the other side of this, I know myself because when we travel, I don't work out either. Like I work out a little bit, like I'll go on walks or I'll do little workouts in the house or something, but I'm not at the gym. I'm not in a routine. So I know myself, and I know that even though I can get out of the habit for 9 months, 8 months, 6 months, whatever, as soon as I am physically ready,
You will.
mentally ready, I will be back into it. I will be hitting it hard. I will be So it's a hard question for me right now because I'm mindfully.
Here's maybe a better way to put that too. So the women in your community, do you feel like when they're going through midlife, whichever that is for whoever
Changing
what,
their life choices.
but now we're low 40s. So do you feel like that they can even recognize the bad habits, patterns, beliefs that are dragging them down? They can maybe feel it, but can they recognize it?
Oh, they don't. No, women don't know.
Even
Usually when
in
they
their
come to my
midlife.
community,
Yes.
usually when they come to my community, they don't know why.
Yeah.
Something has, even me, when I came out of having Locke and I had postpartum depression and I was like missing something. I was like trying to redefine myself because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know. It's not even just about the physical, my clothes don't fit or my body's different or my, which we go through all the time.
Right.
But it was like a mental thing. Like, I don't even know myself.
Yeah.
Like, who am I?
Yeah.
I've heard women talk about this all the time when they become empty nesters, when they get a divorce, when they, after they have a kid, just midlife.
Midlife.
It's they're trying
Maybe
to,
it was your midlife.
and they're trying to cling to a past version of themselves who's not there anymore.
Yeah.
You are still you, of course, but you are now grown. You are now expanded into a different version of yourself. Like, who is that? Who is she?
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my women when they come to this community. They may not know exactly what they're looking for. They just had this feeling of, I need something. And so I explain it to them like, okay, envision yourself 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, like whatever. You are looking at this woman across the wildflower field from you. Who is she? What does she act like? What are her mannerisms? I want picture, like,
you feel.
how does she make you feel? How does she make the people around her feel? What does she exude? That's you. So how can you become this woman? What are you missing in your life that this woman has? Peace. How do you get peace in your life then?
Right.
Start defining the areas of your life that are upsetting.
Right.
Because you got to get rid of those or fix those or whatever to find peace. Okay. She is kindness.
Yeah.
Okay. You're over here screaming at your kids all the time because you're so stressed out. So let's figure out what it is in your life that's making you so stressed out, So sometimes you don't recognize that that is something that's going on, but I do think that a lot of women feel that lack. Like, who am I?
Yeah.
Where am I? What am I doing? And that is where the midlife hits,
for sure.
is because you start to reevaluate how you've been living your life choices and what's next.
Right.
Do I want to continue to go to bar hopping with my friends?
Right.
No, I don't love it.
No.
Okay, then it's time for a change. So who are you?
Yeah.
You can't be this person
You're
anymore.
gonna hit it whether you like to or not, but to recognize it. And then that goes back into the people you're hanging out with, your friends,
Right.
your coworkers.
You're going to be on this journey of growth and they're
Yeah,
not.
they're not there yet. And you
You
can't
need to
make them
find the
see it.
people who are
Yes.
in the when I
Exactly.
started this community,
Mhm.
I thought like-mindedness meant like what I just explained to you about the nurses. They're like-minded because they all think the same and they're all living the same way.
Yeah.
But I thought like-minded when I first started this community was we're all in the same season of life. We're all the like Republican. We're all,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
We're all Christian based. We all have the similar backgrounds.
Right.
Could
Yeah.
not have been more different.
Isn't that funny?
Could not have
Yeah.
been more different. Oh my gosh, we've got women in here from
Yeah.
like
It's crazy.
how
Yeah.
old is Rosemary now? I
I
don't
think
even know.
she's 70.
I don't even
3
know.
or 74?
I don't
70s.
I don't know. And then down to
70,
20-year-old. And
It's a
you know, it's
50-year
like
age gap.
holy cow,
Yeah.
could not be more different. We've got moms having babies. We've got women who don't have kids and not married yet. We
Yeah.
have women who are just barely going through empty nesting. We have
Yeah.
from all over the place.
Right.
We've got different religions,
Yeah.
raised in different backgrounds, like
Yeah.
all different. And we are all connected.
It's so cool.
We are
Mhm.
all connected in this same purpose of discovering the definition of midlife,
Yeah.
reevaluating
Yeah.
our life choices and what's next
Yeah.
and how we want to
Yeah.
keep going.
And I love your explaining my brother tonight how your groups, you have the leader and then your groups break up and they talk about that with each other and with the mindfulness of helping each other through these things,
Right.
but not just babying them through
No.
it when you're fine,
Saying, what about that
because
bothered
who
you?
is challenging you?
Yeah.
Some of your friends aren't going to tell you that
No.
and are,
Some people you go to because you need them to kind of
Yeah.
pat you on the back and say
Yeah.
it's going to be okay.
you
Even
just
though
don't
it's like,
find that
No.
though anywhere. So
Right.
it's cool.
Sometimes you need someone to say, yeah, you were an idiot. What are we
Yeah.
going to do about it now?
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Go apologize and let's
Yeah.
fix it and move forward and
Exactly.
don't do it
Yes.
again.
Yeah, those are the best lessons. So yeah, that's so true.
People don't want to hear it all the time, but
No, but
sometimes it's a
do
necessity.
that.
So yeah, being together in a like-mindedness is you can't describe that connection. It's
No.
cool.
It's fun to see it all too. I'm glad I get to be a part of this. So it's so
Thanks.
awesome. I think we improved for sure for
Since
goal
our
setting
last
since our last. I
episode.
feel so successful today.
We did.
We arrived.
We
It does
got
feel good.
so much done
It
this
does
week.
feel, especially we did get a lot
We
done.
got a lot of food eaten. We got a lot of stuff seen.
Okay, what was your favorite thing that you ate in Duluth?
Oh,
Oh shoot. I shouldn't ask that because I don't know my favorite.
um,
I know mine.
it was between the breakfast sandwich and the breakfast burrito.
I know. Okay, what is Duluth good at making?
Coffee and French fries.
There we go.
And pie.
And the pie
Very
is
good at
very
pie.
good.
The pie is really
It
good.
is awesome. I had a really good salmon bagel. It was amazing.
Oh, you know what? That was really good. The salmon melt was really good. I don't know. Anyway, we did
Yeah.
have some bad ones too. So
We had
that's
a
why
few.
we're
We
that's
won't
why we're
mention
trying
where.
to say, yeah, we're trying to say the
Very
good thing.
fun.
But we got up this morning. Kelly booked us on a little like boat cruise
Oh,
this morning.
sunrise and coffee boat cruise.
It was adorable.
The
It
pinkest,
was so funny.
pinkest sky you'll
The
see.
sky. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Pinkest,
It was
pinkest.
funny. I got a text this morning that said, whose idea was this? What time did we have to leave the house? At
6:55
6:55
on vacation. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
which is 5:55 for me normally in Utah time. My eyes were
Cool.
burning, but it was good. It was good.
Superior goals, Duluth goals.
We saw some fall leaves. We waited in some lines and it was worth it.
Yeah.
Every line was worth it. I
lot
do
of
not
lines.
recommend. I mean, I do not regret any of the lines we waited in because every single one of them was worth it. It was awesome. The fall leaves, the
Yeah,
gondola.
nice.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah, they were all good. We got to see
They were all
lots,
good.
so
So everything was good.
it was so fun. I'm so thankful.
I'm thankful.
Thankful.
Should we wrap it up?
Done.
All right. Look we're both so tired. We're like, okay, it's time to wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. If you like the message we are spreading on Revitalized Womanhood, please share this. Please like, rate, review. What do? Subscribe to YouTube.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Go on Instagram.
Join the sisterhood. How many
join.
asks? You're not supposed to
Well,
ask people to do
your
so many
membership
things.
open for right now that you're doing?
It's free till the end of December. It's free
Okay.
till January 1st. January 1st, we start.
That's awesome.
Yep. So October through December,
There's
I
a
am
lot of
doing it for
women
free.
coming
Yes, we have
coming
had
on
a
board.
lot of new members.
Yeah.
It's really fun. We're having a great time we call it the Kiln Squad, which is your probationary squad that you're in with
Yeah.
me. I am the coach in that squad.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to join because
No.
you get to meet Gina and she's going to help you get through it. So
We're going to set
good
some
deal.
goals that are goals and
Yeah.
not just vibes.
There's your new definition.
I'm going to
Kill
kick
'em.
you out of the vibe and push you into the
The
goals.
goals. Hey, who doesn't want that?
Oh, everybody. Everybody just
Not the
asks.
truth.
They come to me and they're like, never
No,
mind.
no,
I don't
thank
want to do
you.
that.
No, it's what they need if you want to move forward.
All right,
So,
ladies. Thanks,
okay,
Kel.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.